I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Nothing else matters, not the mortgage, not the store, not my team and all their bullshit. For those 10 seconds or less, I'm free.
What up? Welcome to another episode of Quarter Variant at a Time. I got Roy here. Whoop, close that out. I got Roy here. I figured because I couldn't use Major League again because we've now hit 3 in a row. But
Right.
Why not?
But it is the winning streak, though.
Yeah, we hit the winning streak. But I figured we could have Vin Diesel tell us how he lives his life.
Yeah, it shit makes me laugh. Like, it was like the most offhanded comment, and like here we are. And I think it's great that you decided to roll with that as a title for the show. And so it's, I'll have to show you one time. I made this meme like for Michelle. Like I had like a meme editor, and I was like just going ham like during lockdown. And because she was saying like she's always like, you're really silly, you're a silly guy, and I was like, not me, I'm serious. Like I'm so serious, like you have no idea. And so I took just a picture of Vin Diesel just like up against the black car, and I perfectly swapped out his head for mine. Like I was even able to like kind of expand it a little bit so it fit and everything. I've got a bandana on, and it's just like so fast, so serious is what it says. And it's like, yeah. And so that was actually the root of what eventually would be that comment about living my life one quarter variant at a time.
Dude, it's like one of my favorite. You hit it. It was hilarious because you hit it like you're like, oh, I live my life quarter variant at the time. It was like the whole speech. I'm like, damn, dude, guy had just watched the movie and came back and was like, I'm gonna hit it. Substitute every car racing reference in there for a comic book.
Well, I had it on the brain, man. I don't know what to tell you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it was a good time, man. I enjoy it. And I enjoy doing this very much.
Roy, I believe we're at is it the last week? Was this Wednesday the last X-Men 97?
Yeah. I actually haven't. I'm waiting to catch up on the very last episode. But I'm sure, the spoilers are all over the internet, so watch out if you are trying to stay away from that. But I'm excited. I can't wait. And then, of course, it's like super unfortunate because Disney ordered the 3 seasons, so we're gonna get 3 seasons of it. But with the writer having made, Bo DeMeo, I have it like departing from the project under strange and mysterious auspices, hopefully the next 2 seasons can live up to it, and then eventually Disney will just destroy it anyways, and it'll revert to being garbage again like it always does. But for now, it is amazing, and I can't wait to sit down with the family and watch the season finale.
Is it 1 episode finale, or did they do like 2 episode finale?
It's a 3-parter altogether. So, but it's been like one really coherent story throughout all the episodes. So,
which is like what I kind of want at this point.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, dude. I don't have a single complaint, and that's like the weirdest thing to hear from me, I'm sure. But yeah, I think it's pretty well executed, and I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I don't expect it to last, but while the getting is good, it's super enjoyable. So
I like that. I did not get to read that many comics this week. But I read some, and I read some I really liked in the small window. I actually went out yesterday. Oh, you got 2 kids. Oh, yeah, you got the other one.
I got 2 of them at the moment. My other one is in school, so for right now, I'm down to 2.
Take that as a win, right?
Yeah, I will, but I mean, it's its own thing, like a teenager is a thing. My kid's like 17. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. And don't get me wrong, like my kid is great. Like very, very little to complain about, but like it's wild. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So Daryl said he was excited to hear us talk about Blood Hunt once we get there. So that I'm gonna jump into it real quick.
Sure.
Quick day. I read a couple books.
I read 2 books.
I read the same amount. So like there we go.
I did actually read, because this was going to be our winning streak, so I had to have actually read a comic book to be on a winning streak in a podcast about comic books.
I read 3.
Okay.
First of all, I wanted to show it off because I noticed I didn't show it off when we were
I
recapping
love it.
comic day. Dude, Gambit did this Flash, and like it's Ezra Miller, his cowl, pretty much. Like, but the thing is, Gambit is so good on detail that
Yeah,
like I could tell that right away. I'm like, oh, you did that version. So
for
he
sure.
gave that to me for free comic book day. Like, it's always really cool to have every once in a while, like Lauren or somebody will gift me something for like working hard on something. Now,
Right.
this is up there. Obviously, the things that Lauren has given me because she's my wife is pretty up there. But this
Sure.
is up there because Gambit.
Yeah.
He apparently had one of his best free comic book days, and then he gave me that. So that
Good
is
for him.
the one thing I wanted to show off. And then I also wanted to show off Universal Monsters Dracula.
That's that hardcover, huh?
This is that direct market hardcover. So like there's 2 versions, 2 covers for this. The one that you're gonna see at like Barnes and Noble, Amazon, and then one that is only available at comic stores. So at Blackbird we did this one, and it's sick. But what is really dope about this, even though I have every issue and Lauren might kill me, I did buy the hardcover.
Oh, wow. Oh, bro.
Signed book plate. Aaron placed them perfectly in the middle there. So I had to, dude. $30, you get the whole book. It's beautiful hardcover, and then that book plate, man. Like James Tynion, especially in Florida, he doesn't come around as much. So like to get his signature and Martin Simmons, like this was really cool. One of the pieces, and this came out this week. So like if you missed it, guys, like you haven't missed it by much. It's this week.
I know.
And then I read 3 books, and I hated one of them, and I liked 2 of them. So I actually have what would this be, a negative opinion at some point. So first of all, I read Heart Piercer.
Okay.
This is is it Dueck? Rich has done other books like oh my god. Oh, he's done a lot of books with Alex Cormack. I can't. They're slipping me on the top of my head. Drive Like Hell was his most recent one. I
Okay.
love Drive Like Hell. Heart Piercer was really cool because it's like at first I was getting some very necromancery vibes, and then right off the bat we end up finding out that this is our main character right here, the Heart Piercer. And there's a scary crow lady that like literally I was reading this book late at night and I was like, damn, am I gonna have a nightmare? Am I gonna have a nightmare tonight about some crow lady? Like, but this is sick because it's this lady's been betrayed. She's the most badass warrior in all the land. She's essentially killed all the mythical creatures, and there's only her left. She's betrayed, left for dead. She comes back to life, and she's pretty much out to destroy this necromancer's whole evil plan. And the first issue gives you all the backstory you need, while also jumping into one big battle at the end. And again, creepy vibes. Like it is super cool. I'm gonna say if you're a fan of like high fantasy necromancy, this is a cool book for you with some barbaric tones as well. So Rich knocked out of the park with Gavin Smith on art. I think Gavin Smith recently did some Turtles stuff. And then Uncanny Valley 2, I read. I really loved Uncanny Valley 2. It's by Tony Fleeks, who's the guy who did Stray Dogs and Feral. I don't love those books, but I loved Uncanny Valley because it's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Super sick.
Okay.
Like the kid is a human, and his granddad is a cartoon. So like what's hilarious is in the first issue, him and his buddies jump off a bridge. Like, right? You and your friends jump off a bridge, you're gonna jump
Would
off?
you do it? Yeah.
So they do, and they all break their ankles because they try to land on their feet and like, you know. And homeboy literally falls through a hole in the ground like this, and he's unharmed. Like it's just like, bloop. And that's like your
Gotcha.
first sign that hey, this kid's weird. And you notice that he has the abilities to like do things that cartoons can do, like run through a wall. So like,
Sorry, I'm gonna have to abandon you for a second here,
you're good.
but I'm listening.
There's the little one. I read
Yeah.
Napalm Lullaby number 3, and I hated it. And I'm done with the book after this issue. This was FOCs this week for number 4, and I kind of decided not to go with it. I was super on board after the first issue. Second issue had me a little bit, but it just got too political.
Yeah.
And I am gonna admit to you, I do read comics to escape the world, right? And I felt like I was reading the newspaper just as much as I was reading a comic book. And I don't think the writing is bad, right? Like Daryl, like I said, I got to issue 3 and I didn't reluctantly do it. Like I'm not gonna pretend I begrudgingly bought the first 3 issues. Like I sat in an interview with Rick Remender. I was really excited about it. Like I do like like what the book is. I think this issue and for all I know, issue 4 is going to be completely different. And it was just the way that he wanted to write it. But issue 3 just got like a little bit like too surreal for me, even though it's supposed to be this high fantasy sci-fi future. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I was like, uh I think it's 5. Just hate read the last one. I might, but it was like I didn't FOC it, or at least I haven't clicked the order button on FOC because I think it's this week. I just didn't love it. I didn't love it. I'm like, wow. I feel like we're and obviously like these books are written super in advance, so like I know that nobody wrote it with current events in mind, but it just felt too much, and like it bugged me. It bugged me, and I couldn't do it. Is all I'm gonna say.
Well,
So
sometimes you're looking for an escape, not to be buried in it, you know what I mean,
yeah,
regardless of how you feel about the subject matter or the politics of the creators involved. You know, sometimes you're just not trying to get involved with something that heavy, you know what I mean? You just want to get away and get out. It's like those slow burn art house movies. They're rad.
exactly. And like I just and like I said, I like the 2 main characters I love. I love the like the telepath and then the other girl, like they're awesome and I like where the book is going. And again, maybe he needed to paint this dystopia that they were trying to take down, like and that was the issue in which he did it in. It was just too much for me. It was too much for me and I was just like I'm not gonna lie, Daryl. At a point where there was the point I knew it was too much for me, and I did hate read the back half of it because obviously I'm not gonna stop reading a book in the middle of a book. Like I've already paid for it, taken time back and boarding it. Like I'm gonna read it, but it wasn't my vibe. It wasn't my vibe, and I love Rick Remender. I love Deadly Class. Deadly Class is one of my favorite comic book series. He's done a lot of other great stuff, but I might hate read number 4. If 4 is really the last one, I might hate read it. But it just they lost me at 3. They lost me. And with that being said, I know what Roy is doing right now. I know exactly what
I'm changing poopy diapers because that's
exactly
how I
what
pay
I
the
knew.
bills, bro.
That's what I knew. I knew exactly what it was. I heard.
Changing poopy diapers, man. Like I got a job to do.
Oh man.
I'm not like some superstar. I don't have like an assistant here like mopping up for me. Like I gotta build robots and I gotta do all of that stuff on my own. That's how Big Daddy pays the bills.
Oh man. So
Oh,
speaking of poopy diapers, just kidding. So Blood Hunt, Daryl, here we are. All right. Um, Blood Hunt.
I didn't read any of that.
I didn't read it either, but I'm informed. I'm informed.
Hmm.
So, Blood Hunt, right? This is Marvel's big summer event. It's gonna be 3 months.
62 books or
Yeah,
something.
I was gonna pull up the reading
Forget
order.
it.
But I'm like, you know what? That was last week's conversation. Last week's conversation was, are they printing too many books? We know the answer is yes. We don't need to beat that horse.
True.
Blood Hunt. So here's the thing, though, right? Like, and we're gonna talk about this more next week because me and Roy next week are gonna put together like kind of like a top 10 list of comic events last probably like 40 years or so. We're not gonna go crazy far back, but I think we gotta start with Crisis on Infinite Earths and move in that timeline.
Sure.
And I know Roy's gonna be able to come with some great X-Men events. You know, everybody always thinks of the obvious ones, but like I bet you I know Roy's been reading like all of that stuff, like from the back in the day. So uh but the thing with events now, and X-Men events back in the day weren't as bad as X-Men events now, but now I think there's too many tie-ins. And that's going to be your biggest thing. The Blood Hunt event sounds really the story that they underlaid in issue 1 is very cool sounding. What they end up doing to Blade, and we're 2 weeks in, almost 3 weeks in now, so like not huge spoilers, but like if you're reading this book because you like Blade as a hero, this is not going to be the book for you. But like, it, and obviously like they kill people in the book, so like nobody's off limits. But it does feel like a very interesting and odd. I feel like you could have done a Blade event and have it go differently than, hey, we're fighting more vampire things.
No, because he just did. They gave him 10 issues and it flopped.
That's true, but like, so spoiler alert. Let me just, we're gonna spoiler alert.
Which is unfortunate because like it was actually pretty decent. Like I have that whole run.
So we're gonna spoiler alert. If you have not read Blood Hunt and you don't want spoilers, go ahead and like move on by like 5 minutes. So Blade's the bad guy, and Dracula's the good guy. Like Dracula's helping the heroes. Which, to be fair, I'm gonna be really fair. I honestly assumed it was gonna be the other way around. So like, good on them for like being like, this is what you thought you were gonna get. Boom, boom, different. But like, first of all, and I've heard this mentioned before, Blade is one of like the few black characters you have in that universe, and he's one of the most badass. So to make him villain in your summer event is kind of crappy. Let me just word it like that way. I don't think anybody would have stopped reading the book if Dracula was the bad guy and Blade was helping the Avengers. I don't think anybody would have walked away from the book. So like, let me just word it that way. Um, Roy, I struggle with vampires in superhero universes. I find it
Okay.
odd and out of place. Your thought?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess you're right. Like, I dig horror comics, and so I love a lot of that stuff, but it is usually pretty separate. And when it shows up, like, it's pretty gimmicky. Like, we were talking about, like, that Exterminators series from X-Men last year, and it was a good time, and it was fun, and I did enjoy that. And that was one of the things that spun out of the last few years that I did enjoy. But, like, you could have replaced those vampires with anything. They didn't, it wasn't, it didn't really matter. It wasn't about them. And when they like, it's so convoluted, and it's another thing that they've really been struggling with. That like, I don't know, people who were just coming into Blood Hunt must be somewhat confused because there was a whole 5-issue run of Bloodline set up for this. There was that whole Blade Vampire Nation one shot set up for all of this. There's been 10 issues of Blade going on in the background that, like I said, obviously no one knew or cared about because soft canceled, after 10 issues. Well, I mean, and then, so like Marvel's been trying to make something out of this the whole time and no one knew because no one's reading any of it. And like, goes back to, like we said last week, is there too many comics? Man, yeah, there's all of that to read just to get ready for these 61 issues. And I do think that the vampires are out of place, and I'm not surprised by Blade is the bad guy, and it's not good. It's not good. Like, I don't like, I'm collecting the actual Blood Hunt mini itself uh for the main story. I don't mind that, but I learned my lesson from Axe, and I'm not reading all of these ridiculous tie-ins that really don't have anything to do with it. Like, you know what I mean? And so, like I said, God bless to Candace and Dave over at Blackbird for not trying to get you to eat every issue coming out of there. But so I mean, don't get me wrong, collect what you want, but it does feel out of place to me, to get back to what you're saying. And it just, I don't understand why this is where they decided to go, other than they really just wanted to have a rebuttal to DC vampires.
And
And
it's so weird because DC Vampires was out
why?
of continuity, kind of, sorta.
I didn't read it. I don't
It
know.
was in continuity, but it literally takes place during a pocket of time where nobody gave a crap. Like, no other comic had like there was no tie-in, which is again genius, right? Like, you do
Yeah.
not need these crazy tie-ins. So it's going to be a 5-issue series, but like as Roy said, there's 60 million tie-ins. But like I've always told people as a guy who's been on the retail side of it, when there's an event like this, and really Night Terrors was the moment. I remember telling Daryl this.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're interested in this idea, subscribe to the main series, okay? The 5-issue, 6-issue main series. Might have an alpha and an omega, to bookend it, but it's a main series. Then, if there's a tie-in that features your favorite character, so for my example, Night Terror's Flash, or if they do Absolute Power Flash, you go in and you buy that one, because worst case scenario, it will at least be your favorite character
Yeah.
with dealing with, so if you love Spider-Man, sure, you get an Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt for 3 issues. You do that. But if like you don't care about Spider-Man, you don't need it. You don't need it, because 9 times out of 10, and Roy, you can correct me if I'm wrong on the ones you've read. 9 times out of 10, a tie-in book for an event is simply the guy wrote a story for his, but like the guy writing Amazing Spider-Man just continued writing Amazing Spider-Man. And then like either at the end or in the middle, he's like looking at a TV or maybe across the screen. It's like, oh, blood hunt stuff is happening in town. And it's like, oh, I must now join them. And all it is the explanation of what they saw and how they ended up joining them the next issue. That's 99% of the time.
Yeah, it seems like that now, nowadays. Like they used to, like back in my day, like it seemed more relevant when you had these crossover tie-in events, like a la Infinity Gauntlet, for example, where you really got to go in depth to the like. That's what I think it's supposed to be. Like at its pure form is that. Like this is the in-depth part of how that happened. But man, some of these tie-ins aren't even that anymore, and it's just like, oh, we wanted to introduce some new status quo for this character, and so now's a great time to sneak it in during Blood Hunt when everyone's all focused on vampires. So do you remember when they made Swordmaster the new Iron Fist?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an Axe Iron Fist one shot, because and then what have they done with Swordmaster as Iron Fist since then? Like that's awful. Like, you know what I mean? And like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for passing on the mantle, especially, it makes a little more sense to not continuously and forever have it be white dudes that end up with the power of Sholal the Undying.
Yeah.
But like they didn't even do anything with it. So it didn't matter to the tie-in that it was in, and they didn't matter to the character because they weren't even going to use him until I guess Iron Fist is coming up on an anniversary, so now you have to.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of garbage, and that's what it feels like these tie-ins are now, as opposed to getting more meat for a part of this. Like you said, like, you guys are doing blood hunt stuff through the city, and you rumble by an alleyway and you look down the alleyway and there's some other people doing some blood hunt stuff in the city, and you're like, oh, they're doing blood hunt stuff in the city. I wonder what that's all about. And then you get to go read that, and it fleshes that out more.
Yeah.
And if it was more of that, then it wouldn't be so bad. But you can't tell me you're fleshing out 61 issues worth of from what happens in 5. Like, no thanks, man. I'm not with it. And like, yeah, I think that horror books are better off kind of away from superhero books. But I love it when they do stuff like the Crypt of Shadows, and it's like, oh, you don't know about Victor Strange? You don't know about Stephen Strange has got a vampire lord twin brother that he keeps down locked underneath in the Crypt of Shadows? Like, that's rad. And so I enjoyed that. And Werewolf by Night isn't bad, but it's usually more self-contained, and it's not just like Spider-Man fighting vampires. I just don't need it.
Yeah, and I get it, right? Morbius's first appearance is an Amazing Spider-Man book, right? So I get it, right?
I would assume, yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, so he's a Spider-Man villain. And it's like, dude, because he fought one vampire, okay? Because a vampire exists in his rogues gallery does not mean he is a vampire slayer man, okay? Like, that's what I really like. Because you're right, it's usually self-contained. Like, a great example is during New 52, DC did the Rot World event, but the Rot World event was like more horror, and it only featured like Phantom Stranger, Swamp Thing, John Constantine, like Zatanna. It was Justice League Dark's event, and you don't see Superman and Wonder Woman randomly show up and try to deal with this dark entity, because it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Plus, in a lot of scenarios, when you really think about it, it's like when you bring your A-list superheroes in, it's like in theory, shouldn't they just be able to like really fix this problem really easily? Like, can't like Wolverine just go over there and slice and dice these vampires in half? Like, and
Well, can't he just tell him what to do? He used to be the Lord of the Vampires.
yeah, like I don't know.
This
All right.
isn't even new ground. Like,
Yeah, it's
you
just
know,
thing. So absolute power is a little different because I cannot complain that
I'm sure I could if I knew more about it.
I can't complain that it's horror and superheroes because that's not it. But I absolutely will not be that much of a DC apologist that I will not say that there are not a shit ton of books. Like way too many tie-ins.
Oh,
And
wow.
like this is, and granted, this is only what's solicited. So like you're only going up to like issue, I think 3 of Absolute Power at this point. So and yeah, there's variants. Like first of all, can we just
Ooh, that LaRocca looks nice, man. I like that.
like John Jang is sick. Like
Oh, no. I haven't looked yet. Or I
dude,
did look,
this
didn't
is
I? I think I put
this
my
is like
orders. I didn't see
May.
any.
What is this? This release date? This is July, dude. So like, but just to
Oh,
give
my
you an
God. I
example,
want that so bad, though.
and then like here, I'm gonna give you an example of like where they get me, right? So like apparently Task Force, what is this? 5, 6, 7? Task
Yeah.
Force 7 is like a speedster book because there's some freaking speedster here. So like, yes, you've now got me,
Oh,
right? Like I will be reading Absolute
they
Power,
got you.
Absolute Power Speed Force. I'm just gonna call it Absolute Power Speed Force. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is first of all sick cover. So like, all right, they got me. Looks like this guy's name is gonna be Velocity. Flash theme.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm
It
learning.
looks cool.
So I'm not gonna lie, this event looks cool. I talked about it a little bit last week. So what the event is Amanda Waller is being Amanda Waller in the sense that she's like, she for some reason just can't Amanda Waller is the new Lex Luthor, and I hate it.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
oh, all these guys saved the city, but they're stronger than our government and our army. And what are we gonna do if they turn their backs on us? And it's like, well, they haven't. How long Superman and Wonder Woman been on the planet? They haven't. Okay, like the Green Lantern Corps has been in Oa for like longer than you've been alive. They haven't taken you over, but she's obviously got this irrational fear of what's gonna happen. And now it looks like this is like Suicide Squad turned up to 1 zillion. Because like not only does she just have the criminals doing her bidding for her, but she wants to literally eliminate the all the superheroes. So she's working
Okay.
fail safe to try to like eliminate all superheroes. It's not my jam. I'm not gonna lie to you, like not my jam.
I'd
But
love to buy the core event in a trade one day.
yeah. Like, and I'm sure the main story is gonna be good. It's written by Mark Waid, who wrote God.
Ooh, and then they put up that raised UV foil variant. I'm like, maybe I'm just talking out of my ass over here, though.
And here's the thing. Your main book, look at this. It's only 4 issues. So it's really the tie-ins that are gonna kill you. You can read this
So same thing as do with Blood Hunt, yeah.
Yeah, you can read this event and it's going to cost you $25 tops because one of these books is probably $5.99. But
Sure, yeah.
like $25 tops, and you're reading all this. Yeah, it kind of is DC Civil War when you kind of think about it. Granted,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think too many people are on. I don't think anybody that's a hero is on Waller's side by choice. Because even Dreamer, which the reason I know a decent amount of this is this Suicide Squad Dream Team is pretty much the lead up to it. And Dreamer is a hero for the most part. Dreamer does not want to be involved with this, but Waller has like forced her to be Suicide Squad because Dreamer can see the future. And
Okay.
Waller wants this woman
Yeah.
to tell her if her plan works or not. Like that is literally she's pretty much holding her captive so that she could be like, you got to tell me if this is gonna work. So like I think this series is going to be good. I will tell you what I will be doing. I will be finishing Dream Team.
What, buddy?
I will be doing Absolute Power main series. And then I will be doing Absolute Power Task Force 7.
Speed Force.
Yeah, Task Force Speed Force.
Task Force Speed Force.
And then like cuz as I scroll through here there's Superman has a tie-in. I'm just not going to fall down that one. I'm absolutely not going to fall for the origin of Amanda Waller book. That's just not my jam. Wonder Woman has a tie-in. Batman has a tie-in. Green Lantern has a tie-in. Green Arrow has a tie-in. And I'm not gonna lie, that John Jane cover is beautiful. I might honestly read that tie-in.
We'll go outside in just a minute.
And then after that, like you're just looking at a bunch. And I'm not gonna lie, this does look like it's cover overload.
Yeah,
But
man.
these covers are sick. Like,
Did that say Stephen Platt? What? They dug him up. I can't wait to see what that's gonna look like.
Yep, cardstock, Platt. They got John Timms doing covers. They got everybody doing covers. Salvador LaRocca.
I like that Hal Jordan Green Lantern we scroll by from LaRocca. But yeah, like I don't know if like that's just something that still was going on while I was out of comics, but like Stephen Platt, man, that guy like blew up in the 90s and then just like disappeared.
He what was his book? He did a book.
He worked on Prophet was his book. So he worked on Prophet, he worked on Pit, he worked on Moon Knight. He killed on Moon Knight, bro. I will get you some Pop-Tart, my guy.
Pop-Tarts. Yo, this John Jang is just, it doesn't matter what character he draws.
No,
sick.
Yeah, John Jang all the way.
Yeah, it looks like Platt's doing a variant for every cover, Roy. Just like his art's not yet because he's probably like a zillion years old and he's not fast.
Oh, that's hurtful. That's hurtful.
But that'll be cool.
Accurate, but hurtful.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Absolute Power is gonna be cool, but again, same thing. Variant overload, tie-in overload. You don't need it all. But the good news is 4 issues. 4 issues. Commit, put your bearing. I can't commit. I cannot practice what I preach because I will be doing Task Force Speed Force over there. But commit to your 4 issues, enjoy the series. There'll probably be a finale issue because it won't really end in 4. What's up, David? I was just showing everybody how many power tie-ins there are because it is ridiculous. But it's only a 4-issue series, so like you guys, people can commit to just 4 issues and enjoy it. And then there probably will be a finale tie-in, and it does look like this Suicide Squad Dream Team's like the countdown to Absolute Power, so it's kind of like your alpha issue. But like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's issue 4 of a series, so like, how much reading can it really be? Is like
true that.
So, with that being said, those are the 2 events. Roy, Dave's mother-in-law, Candace's mother, just brought you something special. Saturday visit is a must now.
This Saturday? All right, I can be there this Saturday in the afternoon.
There we go, Dave. Afternoon, Roy.
I can be there this Saturday afternoon.
All right, so
she already showed it to me. I've already seen it. I'm stoked. I can't wait.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Nobody's got what I got. You know what I mean?
1 of 1, dude.
1 of 1, bro. 1 of 1.
So next week, me and Roy are gonna come up with that top 10 list of so Dave, and you'll get a kick out of this because I know Roy's gonna be doing a lot of X-Men stuff for it. We're gonna do a top 10 list of best comic events, starting with Crisis on Infinite Earths. So nothing pre-Crisis, because like that's going super far back. But we're gonna make a top 10 list of best comic events, because you know we want to celebrate the event season of.
We'll build a monster truck as soon as I'm done.
Oh, dude, monster trucks. All right, so we're gonna do FOC, Roy, so that way you can get with the kids and do monster trucks.
Yeah, my mom was trying to buy him like a brick set or like a block set, and she ended up buying him like this full ass like engineering set. No, it's pretty rad though because like here's like she's kind of taking it apart. Like here's like one of the little robots that I built. So you got to get all these little blocks and there's all these little hex bolts and nuts and bolts to put them together. So to teach him how to use that, and it came with like its own wrenches and even its own little drill. So you can stick a little drill in here and teach him how to drill these things in. And obviously he's 3, so it's a little much. But you know, kid wants me to build him a monster truck, so I gotta go build a monster truck.
So yeah, Dave, that the solicit for Suicide Squad Dream Team 4 said countdown to Absolute Power starts here or something like that. So like, even though the whole book, to me, it seems like even though the whole book has kind of been a lead up to Absolute Power, like in theory, the finale of issue 4 should lead right into, okay, this is what's happening. I haven't read issue 3. It's in my pile right now, but like I can tell from issue 1, I can tell that this is the Absolute Power prelude, if you will. All right, so we're gonna do FOC for those of you guys. So now, Dave gave us a shout out. Thank you so much, Dave and Candace. They gave us a shout out last week, and Dave said it perfectly. If between this show on Friday and Dave and Candace's FOC show at Blackbird on Sunday, you are not correctly making sure the books you know, I don't know where else to send you, you know? Maybe we'll teach a class at a library. But no, between these two FOC previews, if you will, you should be able to let any comic store in the country or Blackbird know what variants you want, what covers, what books, what trades, everything like that. And it's as close to guaranteed as anything can be. Anything after FOC becomes less guaranteed. Let's just word it like that. So the first place, the easiest way, I'm gonna treat it as if you guys do not have a Pullbox account. So the easiest way to view DC in Image is to go to lunardistribution.com. You do not need an account. As soon as you load in, you end up here, and then you scroll down, upcoming FOC. You do the night. This will only be this way for a couple more weeks, thankfully, but you could pretty much just do 519, which is going to be DC for the most part. You're going to see this. Actually, Roy, there you go. When you go do FOC, you'll see Absolute Power #1, raised UV foil. I'm pretty sure I FOC'd this as well. And I'll probably get a regular cover too, but this is super sick. Wes Craig, and that is on FOC. Then you're going to have Action Comics 1066, which is House of Brainiac. That has been a really good series. It's kind of weird that those events are kind of congruent. Like, that is still going to be going as Absolute Power starts hitting the floor, but hopefully they end right about the same time. Yeah, step by step. I'm very good at it. Oh, that you're using Lunar for DC and Image. It's just right, like not because if somebody goes to Pullbox and they are not logged in like through Blackbird, they won't see DC at all. So like I don't want people to think there is no DC FOC that week.
Yeah, I mean, but it does, in all fairness, it does warn you that you have to log in order to see it. So you should be able to put 2 and 2 together and see that the game is indeed afoot, you know?
Yeah,
But no, I hear you. Like, it's funny because like Dave and Candace were talking about like how in depth do we really need to get on what FOC is like every single week.
Yeah.
And I used to, and I'm listening to her and I'm like, preach it, because I used to get tired of it too. But then I get caught up in these groups where people are like, where did you get that? How did you get that? And I'm like, I just FOC'd it, bro. FOC'd your friend. And they're like, no, I don't understand where you got this mythical cover that costs like $10 extra at my LCS. And I'm like, dude, your LCS is ripping you off. I was like, and then I explained it to him, like, look at Action Comics. That's got covers and they're all fruit, and some of them are apples, some of them are oranges, some of them are bananas, and they're going to order X amount of fruit no matter what. And it usually don't matter to them if they swap out one of them apples for a nanner if they know you're going to come in and buy the banana. You know what I mean? So like, I don't pay any extra money. Incentives are one thing, but apparently there are LCSs out there that are charging per variant and telling people that this variant is hard to get. And I'm like, man, that's unfortunate. Like that's pretty poor practice when you could be making better numbers by putting the variants at price in the hands of the people that want them, instead of like one guy who doesn't know any better who might throw extra for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just seems self-defeating. And I'm very, very grateful that not only my personal LCS, but my experience throughout my life at an LCS has never been like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're always great people in a great place. But to know that that's what's going on. So apparently there does need to be some clarification. So hopefully there are people outside of just our normal circle that get to see that, and find out like all these covers can be yours. You know what I mean? Whether you watch us, whether you watch Dave and Candace, whether you buy them from Blackbird, whether you buy them from wherever you are in the world in your comic book shop, you know what I mean? You should be able to get what you want. And like, I'm all about that.
Dave, you gotta make sure you put in your FOC on May 120th, okay? Please, that is the official date. Yeah, and like Roy just said, like there are gonna be some covers that like, and that's why FOC is great, because you're gonna see the retail price right there. It's like this UV cover, because it's probably the book itself is probably already thick, and there's the treatment on it. It's gonna be a little more expensive, but that price there right in your face. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
what tends to happen, not tends to happen is a relative term. What happens sometimes is, let's say, big first appearance happens in this book, or somebody dies. Superman dies. Wonder Woman dies in this book. Dead, not coming back, dead. And then this cover is obviously the rarer cover, more expensive. And look, it has Wonder Woman being killed on the cover.
Right.
Now it turns into a $20 cover. UFOC'd it, you should be getting it at $7.99, right? But what happens sometimes is people see that dollar sign and either they get eaten up really fast, and you've seen that as well, where the morning it's like they're gone. They
Yeah.
don't 3 in the morning. FOC, because the thing about FOC is if you want 3, this cover's so beautiful, you want 3, you just tell your shop you want 3, and you should be good for 3 instead of
Yeah.
1, and you hope that there's enough for 3. So like that's the cool part about FOC too. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll through some of the independents. Batman 149, issue away from 150. Delato doing a great Bane cover. Batman and Robin 10. I obviously had to order this baseball cover because I love baseball.
I think that's the one I got. I might have gotten the Guillaume March.
I'm surprised there's no Kale. Did Kale stop doing
Yeah, I think he finished his run on that.
Let me see that A cover on it. I know we have this in the shop. Akugan. Oh, that is kind of cool. Looks like a sick Conan the Barbarian style book, which I love.
It does.
Batman, Robin, and Howard. I just want to point this out. Great book if you want to get your like elementary school kid into a Batman book. It's really a Robin book if you're being honest. Robin having to go to school and make friends with a kid at school. It's actually really cool. It has a tiny bit of superhero while also just having that slice of life for kids that age. New Gotham by Gaslight. This is, I think, DC's big book on this FOC. So this is Gotham by Gaslight, Kryptonian Age. So it's a new Elseworlds in the Gotham by Gaslight universe. Sick A cover. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went with Kendrick Lim with Kunka. This is a sick cover. So that's what I went with.
I think that I went with the Batman.
Did you go Matina?
I think I did, or I haven't finished. I haven't finished this FOC yet. I only like started it because I go through it like a couple of times throughout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this might still be one of the ones I'm debating on.
Well,
but I know I'm definitely gonna get it.
You didn't do the Jock foil cover?
Holy shit! Not yet.
I was gonna say you might have done the foil cover. To be fair,
No, I didn't. I didn't see that it was foil. The image didn't grab me as strong because I mean it's Gotham by Gaslight. You know what I mean? So I figured like I could understand the Catwoman, but like this Victorian Batman looks pretty damn rad, man. You know what I mean?
Matina did kill that, and like
Yeah.
they're doing the facsimile with foils and blanks for Gotham by Gaslight the week prior.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was last week's FOC.
Yeah, I had a double take to figure this one out because I ordered the foil for the facsimile and then this, and I was like, what? And I was like, well, I guess I kind of got to get it, you know?
It's sad, like the A cover, and the A cover is not bad at all, and it homages, but God, it's not. It's the worst cover of the four, you know, because of how
sure.
covers are.
For sure.
Let's see. So, World's Finest has a cool Nathan Zersdy cover. Old school Bruce Timm style Supergirl.
It is.
I do like what's this dude's name? Massafera?
Massafera.
His colors. These are just always awesome covers. I think for the Marvel books. Matina's been killing it lately. This is a cool Brave and the Bold cover. Like, check that out.
Yeah, Matina's doing. They're all doing good, man. Manhanini, like all of them. They're all killing it. I love watching them all go.
I remember meeting Rachida Lynn at New York Comic Con 2 years ago, and she had just this little tiny booth. I almost got a commission for Lauren from her because she was so affordable. And it's kind of cool to see somebody.
Not anymore.
Her card in my wallet, or where my stuff from my wallet is.
Sure.
It's cool to see somebody you met as like just like a nobody be like getting covers for DC. You know, like
that is rad.
That is cool. Villa Lobos doing his thing now. Villa Lobos is slowly getting up there on being.
Yeah, he's definitely building steam.
Yep. Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is absolutely going to be on my list next week of best events. And
He got all the heritage covers, and I like that they're doing that.
the foil, and then I'm not gonna lie, I got myself a blank because I thought it was cool to have a black blank on this book. Like the first one, it was a white book, and then the second one is a cover. All right, DC Pride Uncovered. I want to talk about this, and if Dave's still watching, he'll appreciate that I talk about this. So this is just a book of covers. I want to emphasize that when you open this, it's just going to be more art. The pages are not perforated, so you cannot rip it out and put it on the wall. I mean, I'm sure you can rip them out, but it's not going to be easy. So I just
but that Jen Bartel foil though,
no, that's why I want to point out, because I do know people are going to Jen Bartel foil it up.
I definitely did.
Jen Bartel regular cover for $5.99. Then there's an Oscar Vega cover here with Midnighter.
Ooh.
That's Midnighter and Apollo, right?
Whoa! I didn't look at that dude. That's a good image. Like
then,
that's well done.
Luciano Vesiccio doing Nubia, and that might be Artemis. I'm not sure.
I believe so.
For $2 more, $7.99. There is
the Jen Bartel foil, yeah.
Bartel foil. So like, I just
if you're gonna get a book of all covers, you're doing it for the art. Get the foil variant. You want it.
Yeah, I love.
You want it.
Yeah, as Dave pointed out, I do love that there's a writer title in there. Like, what is this the person that put the names credits in there? Like, good for this person.
I'll pay the $1 difference on your foil book. Yeah. If you buy it from Blackbird, I'll pay $1 on your uncovered Jen Bartel foil.
It's a virgin too. It's a virgin foil. Like, it's beautiful. So for Pride Month, that is out. Oh, and then this is the other guy whose art has been phenomenal lately, Roy.
Mananini, yeah.
Mananini. Oh my God, has this been phenomenal? So this looks like it's The Question and Batwoman on this one. So that's
him, Massafera and Manhini. Dude, they're all killing it.
Yep.
All of it. If you've got like a hard to pronounce last name that starts with an M, you are absolutely destroying it on covers right now.
What I think is funny is they used all these great covers on a book that's just art on the inside. Like, can you imagine if they would have just spread this across a couple different Pride books that month? Like,
I didn't even look at that Apollo Midnighter. I actually might get that as well as the Jen Bartel foil. That shit slaps, dude.
Yeah,
and
I thought it was like David
Nakayama. Straight, and like that's rad. I love that.
Yeah. Dracula.
I want that on a T-shirt to make dude bros uncomfortable. That's what I want. Yeah.
There's an Elseworlds graphic novel that collects. This collects Holy Terror, Batman the Blue, the Gray, and the Bat, Robin 3000, Batman Joker the Wild, Batman Houdini, The Devil's Workshop, Batman Castle of the Bat, Batman and Darkest Night, and Batman Dark Allegiances. So it's just like one-off Elseworlds if you ever wanted to like dive more into that world.
But old Elseworlds and old What If, like that was the jam, man. I loved that stuff back in the day. So it's cool to see a collection of that old stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep. Mad Cave down from Miami. They got Galaxy of Madness #1. Looks like a cool book. Some bright colors on there. Mad Cave is always awesome. Green Lantern. This is House of Brainiac tie-in. Beautiful cover. That interior artist, I don't know how to say his name. Xermenko has been doing phenomenal work.
Zermanico.
Yeah.
Probably.
Green Lantern War Journal. This is Philip Kennedy Johnson's book. I've been loving this.
Still collecting this. 2
covers, and then the trade paperback's finally coming out.
I went with the Pinosian for that.
John Constantine.
I'm gonna blow everybody's bubble because I heard Neil pronounce it and he pronounces it Constantine. So if you're not saying Constantine, you're saying it wrong according to Neil Gaiman.
Constantine.
Yep. So that's how Neil says it. So that means that's how you're supposed to say it.
I did love
Nightwing. But good luck. Everyone be looking at you like you got 2 heads.
Zerminico. There we go. See, you gotta pronounce that X like a Z.
Yeah.
This Pride variant for Nightwing is pretty sick. I do love that. What else we got? What else we got? Outsiders has still been a very good book. It's kind of turned into Planetary Light. And then I do like that issue 8 looks like it's going to bring us Jenny Hex back. Jenny Hex was semi-created by Brian Michael Bendis. And I think it's a great character with a lot of potential. And I do love Jonah Hex, but I think he's just a little too outdated and doesn't work in the current climate, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Dave is like, I already liked Outsiders, but it's cool that they're bringing in even more characters. You know, like the planetary characters now. Jenny Hex. I'm excited.
When I saw that that's what it was going to be like, and that it was Jackson and Lansing, that's what made me sign up for that. I was like, all right, well, I'm about that, and especially I like that it's like 12 issues,
Yep.
so they've got a finite story to tell, like that. You know what I mean? So I didn't need, and what little bit I have felt lost on knowing some of the tertiary properties has been more like a joy than a curse.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just based on the, like you said, the planetary nature of the book. And then I can't talk about the Outsiders without mentioning the greatest hack in the world, which is anytime that you just buy a DC, if I get the cardstock cover, when you open the cardstock cover, the A cover is just there because apparently Danny told me it's cheaper for them to just staple on the cardstock onto the A covers. So you get 2 covers for the price of one, but well, I mean, I think you usually pay $1 more for the cardstock. But you get 2 covers. So and the A covers are Roger Cruz.
Yep.
That's what's up. Courtney knows.
Quartz has been liking Outsiders as well. Shout out to Quartz. Quartz is traveling today. Safe travels. Quartz. My
Okay.
she's one of the best baristas at Blackbird. Technically, this drink was made by Sam, Sweet Sam. But
Okay.
Quartz is always awesome. Let me see. Oh, and speaking of Lansing and Kelly, they've been doing Principles of Necromancy, which is the creepiest, freakiest, but kind of awesome book I've ever read. Like,
I got the FOMO on that one, man.
if you liked this, you'll like Heart Piercer, and if you liked Heart Piercer, you'll like this. That is an easy connection I can make to like make this show come full circle.
Nice.
If you like necromancy, there is a lot of books for you right now. I know Dave and Candace really like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, like I think those 2 books, Dave. If Candace hasn't read Heart Piercer, if we still have a copy, she should grab and read that. I think she'll really like that. It's like, honestly, it feels like the Principles of Necromancy, but if you were this is the main character being on the other side of the necromancy, this is that person's story. I really like it. Let's see. Red Hood the Hill is about to end.
No buttons.
Sinister Sons is about to end. This is that tie-in Suicide Squad. If you really do want to feel like you're getting the full absolute power thing, do grab this. The book is very good. It's written by Nicole Maines, who is the actress that played Dreamer on Supergirl.
Okay.
So I absolutely think it's a good read. This is Dreamer. If you're not familiar,
Amy Jo Johnson is killing it over there on that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers: The Return book.
Well, and Nicole, so like for those of you that do not know Dreamer and Nicole Means, so, Nicole Means is the first ever transgender actor to play a superhero. Period. End quote. Period. That happened in Supergirl probably about 5-6 years ago. They have since been writing short stories for Dreamer for DC Comics, and then this was the first time they ever put her on a series. So very excited. It's been a good book.
I'm almost done.
It is not pushy at all. Like, I really want to tell people that off the bat. Like, this is just a Suicide Squad story written by somebody that really cares about the character. And
that's what's up
right there. So like, this is why I gave this book a try, and it has not disappointed me. Plus, it's going to lead into the event this summer. So like, I'm not upset. Titans is still hitting at 1,000,000 miles a minute, and I love it. Post Beast World, they really this is one. I don't think Beast World will make my list, but Beast World was a really good event for Titans. It was very self-contained, and I actually think Titans Super landed hit the landing of following it up, because a lot of books will have an event and then your next like 3 issues feel like filler story, you know?
Yeah.
So I do like this. I do love this cover by Lee Garbett, featuring all the Titans. And then Wonder Woman has some beautiful covers this week. And let's see. There is Image. I'm going to scroll through that real quickly. Scotty Young Ain't No Grave. That's Scotty written book right there. Looks like the 1 in 25 is going to be a Scotty cover. Deviant, James Tynan. This is a phenomenal book. It's slow burn, but you're at 6 and 9 right now, so you're almost done. You got Geiger number 3, Napalm Lullaby 4. Daryl, I'll let you know if I think I'm going to finish it, but gosh, I did not love issue 3. That's my first critical review on this show. Doug Wagner's Plastic, Volume 2, technically, Deaf and Dolls. You do not need Volume 1. It is a miniseries premiere about everyone's favorite serial killer. So if you like serial killers, you'll like that. I do not know. Dave, help me decide if I want remote space. I'm going to read the synopsis.
I looked at this.
The year is 2450. Earth is dying. The human species has gone down 2 different evolutionary paths. One used cybernetic augmentation to adapt to space travel. The humans left behind used genetic manipulation to adapt to Earth's worsening climate. For Earth to survive, civilizations need to collide. I'm intrigued. I like sci-fi. I like things like that. Or while it said don't do it, Lauren, I didn't ask for your help, but it has me just intrigued enough. So I really do like this. It's a mini series, 4 issues, just 1 cover, and then a 1 in 10, which is kind of cool. Rifters is a new series. It says, please saran wrap your ass because you're about to projectile crap.
Yeah, you didn't read this?
Right into the wild world of Rifters, where Time Cop collides with Law and Order. This sounds hilarious. If you liked, what is it? If you liked Shit Show or what was that book? Scumbag. You will probably love that. Yeah. Guitar player from Fall Out Boy. Which one's the guitar player from Fall Out Boy? Is this really the guitar player from Fall Out Boy? I don't know. If you're not Pete Wentz, Rifters is from the guitar player from Fall Out Boy. I was gonna say if you're not Pete Wentz or the guy who wears the funny hat, I didn't know you're in Fall Out Boy. Roy, you recently jumped onto something.
That's one of the books I read.
Yep. So look at that, another Howard the Duck style homage.
I ended up going with the other one that looks like the movie poster that this one looks like.
This one?
Yep. I put that to vote with my wife. But so I did read this today. And like, boy howdy, like jumping in issue number 10 into what is obviously a very, very highbrow concept book is a little, it wasn't off-putting at all. I want it. Like I definitely FOC'd the next one, and I'm probably gonna I'll see what you guys have there for some back issue love if you have any, because I'm definitely interested. And this is another thing where it's like a guy's passion project. So it's, you know, he's the writer, he's the creator, he's the artist, and the art inside is phenomenal. I had no idea what to expect. And obviously the artwork on the cover of both of these is the guy.
Yep.
Which talk about a tough one. The Kudransky.
He does it all. Simon Kudransky.
So so I dove into there, and that's basically everything that we've ever imagined or created. All of our characters and all of our everything is real, and it exists in its own dimension. A la, you said Ready Player One. It reminds me more of Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
But like I said, just one issue out of context, and I'm sure that because I read one issue cover to cover, technically I'm now the expert over the two of us. Yeah. And I can tell you that I don't know nothing other than I really enjoyed it. It's definitely highbrow. This guy's got his heart and his soul in it, and as we all know, that generally tends to be the best work of any artist's career. Really enjoying something epic and recommend it.
Nice. Yeah, I thought it was a good concept. Is it Monolith or is it Spawn? Dave, there is no Monolith on FOC this week.
Spawnolith.
Spawnolith, I like that. I want to point out Transformers for 2 reasons. A, I love this cover.
I know, Bubby.
I love this cover by Daniel.
Yeah, the Atlas cover, yeah.
Yep. And then I do want to mention we still have the Transformers Matt Allison Blackbird exclusive in the store. That is the trade paperback. That is issues 1 through 6 if you want to get caught up. Universal Monsters,
right.
Black Lagoon #1 was phenomenal. and there's a 6-second print coming from Francavilla. So that is a must. And then with that being said, we are done with Lunar. I will show you how to do the final part of FOC, guys, and we will wrap this up. This is how you can do everybody else. You go to Previews World Final Orders Due. It's actually previewsworld.com/final orders due, and you will end up at this beautiful screen. If you have a Pullbox account, you can log in and literally order books through here, but you can still access this right there on the last. And you access it right there. So we already did image. That's very easy to go through. Oh, there's the spawn monolith. See, it's spawn
Monolith.
Spawnolith. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, Dave. It's monolith. You know why it's monolith? Because the word spawn is nowhere on that cover.
That's kind of true, though. You know,
that is a sick cover. That is a sick cover. Let's just go with that. Boom. Amory Wars, guitarist from Coheed and Cambria. That's what I got. Crocodile Black is phenomenal. Philip Kennedy Johnson. I reviewed it for the store as kind of being like equal parts noir and suspense mystery, with a little bit of Dexter in there, kind of, or at least the origins of Dexter, I feel like. So I'm very excited for that. Dark Ride is a phenomenal book. If you have not read that and you like horror, I suggest the trade paperback for that. I read the first like 4 issues because I love Josh Williamson, and I do love parodies on theme parks and stuff like that. And obviously, I grew up with Goosebumps, and it was like Return to Horrorland and everything like that.
Go on, come on, get out of here.
Are you guys just having conversations in the comments now?
I can't see any of the comments because I'm on my phone.
Oh yeah, so I think Dave's asking what's on the shelf, and then Lauren knows this shelf better than I do, so I think she's telling him what's on the shelf. Lauren, speaking of Lauren, Grimm number 18, beautiful A cover by Flaviano, and then the Partridge cover is sick, punk rock. Speaking of punk rock, you got Labyrinth. Jim Henson, you got David Bowie there on the A cover. This is another book I FOC'd, Lawful. I'm not going to lie to you. I semi-blind FOC'd it in the sense that it is written by Greg Pak of Totally Awesome Hulk fame, World War Hulk, Met Cadet U, Met Cadets. So I now blind order Greg's books in the sense that I love Greg. Greg Pak is one of my favorite writers in the business right now.
It's a strong rec. I like it. I do the same thing for Hickman, though.
Yeah. So I will at least try. It's an 8-issue series. I will at least read the first couple of issues. Looks like magical, high fantasy. But Greg Pak has my money to start anytime he does something.
Dude, Dan Panosian was busy this month.
Yeah, yep.
Holy jeez, he's like all over DC. Look, that Ludo is dope, man. I don't know how much you know about Labyrinth, but that Ludo cover will get you laid, bro.
Yeah.
Promise.
I also want to mention that Boom apparently has the rights to Rocco's Modern Life, and they're reprinting some of it in trade. So they're
gonna make money.
You want that nostalgia hit. Marvel is going to be heavy on some Scotty Youngs, as you guys can always tell. But I'm not gonna lie, Villa Lobos doing Black Cat, phenomenal cover.
Yeah, that's where I went.
Yep, Scotty is sick. Let's see what else we got. Blood Hunt number 4. We're already FOCing number 4. Don't forget, jump on Red Band. Like for the extra, what is it? $1?
Yeah,
$1. Get yourself a polybagged Red Band. I know Dave and Candace can agree. It's the way to go.
Don't sleep on those EC homage covers though, because I mean, if you're gonna get like horror and your vampires and your superheroes all muggled up, like having the EC homage was a tactful way to go. And I know that everyone is like gonna disparage Greg Land until the end of times, but that cover's bitching too.
Oh, dude, Greg! I was just talking to somebody about how like everybody hates on Greg Land, but like he still gets knocks him out of the park cover every year. Like, more than once in a while. Like he's pretty consistent. There's another Scotty for Captain America. There's a Scotty for Captain Marvel. Oh no, that's a poster. Don't fall for that. Those are posters, guys. Doctor Strange 16, sick Alex Ross. There's also a Scotty.
Don't tell them that, because if they order the $8.99 rolled ones, and they won't be asking for the ones on the door, I'll fold up and I can get them.
That's true. That's true.
Buy them posters.
full
$8.99 is a steal. No creases, no sun fading. You know you want it rolled up. Don't ask for it at the store.
Dracula Blood Hunt 2. Mahanini, sick cover. They're reprinting Dracula for a $24.99 trade. That is cool. Immortal Thor has a Scotty. Iron Man has a Scotty. I do love this. It's a 1 in 25. But I was gonna say that is a sick cover. Sensational She-Hulk has an Adam Hughes. Don't sleep on Adam Hughes, guys. It doesn't always get ordered heavy, but everybody wants them. So just
it did catch my eye.
Word of advice, if you're thinking about it, don't sleep on the Adam Hughes. Spider-Man Reign 2. Dave, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong. Oh, this is a poster. I do still want to get on my Spider-Man Reign correct me if I'm wrong thing.
But if they're advertising the poster, that means like next week or something, we'll see, a trade or whatever, facsimile, who knows.
So I'm pretty sure Spider-Man Reign is when we see Peter's Peter. If I'm remembering correctly, there's like a scene where Peter is like sitting on the bed, because like this is supposed to be like a darker, more Max take. He's sitting on the bed and he's naked, and you just see his Peter. It's the original Batman damned Batman. Am I?
She had his Peter tangle. Okay, this is news to me.
Sure that's what I remember. I could be wrong, but there's an issue where that happens, and I thought it was Spider-Man Reign. Spider-Woman 7 second print. That is the first appearance of a bunch of characters. 8, I think, is the first full appearance of those same characters. Star Wars has the Phantom Menace variant. Shout out to Nick. That is Nick's go-to thing. Ultimate Spider-Man's getting a third printing of 3 from Chichetto. And then 6 is on FOC. Let's see. Mahanini killed it on the Ultimate Special variant. And
that's what I ordered
this time around. Yeah, not bad.
Well, because the reprintings galore. It's all going to go to 6 reprintings, so why blow it all now?
Yeah, that's true.
It's actually smart.
Anxiety got a cool homage cover. It doesn't look like it's final art yet. It needs to be colored. Then they're doing Venomverse Reborn. I know Manny's going to love this. There's only 4 covers. That'll probably make him happy. Derek Chu knocking it out of the park with that symbiote variant, as always. Wolverine Blood Hunt. And then you've got some X-Men omnibuses.
Yes.
I'll run through Dynamite real quick. You've got some Garbage Pile Kids. You've got Hercules with like no covers. I don't know what Dynamite is doing. You've got Red Sanjay. You got Thundercats. Oh, and then you have more Vampirella.
I'm still all in on the Thundercats, and I am still all in on those Lucio Perillo foils. Every month I chump out $10 for one of those foils. They are so beautiful. I love them, and they got my man Slithe on that one, and he looks phenomenal.
So the only thing I'm gonna really talk about on this one here is this Anisi Boys. There's Neil Gaiman. This is kind of like American Gods type stuff, and he's doing a comic book of it with who's on art? Sean Martinborough. So should be a cool book. Those books are always under ordered, so just make sure you get that order in before anything crazy happens. Oh, and then I do want to mention Dudley Dotson. I thought that was a very fun series written by Scott Snyder. Worth a pickup, especially if you love like time travel, invention hijinks. I just think it's a really good book. And then Godzilla Here There Be Dragons 2. Shout out to Inaki Miranda from Scott's Collectibles. He was just nominated for an Eisner for that book along with Frank Thierry. And I love Inaki Miranda. Him and his brother Roy are like the nicest people in the world. They were one of my first interviews back in the day. So I want to give them a shout out. And Helena Windhorn, that's Tom King's book. High on Life. Ooh, I do want to talk about that. High on Life is a very cool video game by the creator of Rick and Morty, and it looks like they're doing a comic book. If you like Rick and Morty, you're probably going to like that. Who's writing it? Is it Kyle Starks? I bet you it's Kyle Starks. No, Alec Robbins. But yeah, totally worth picking that up if you like Rick and Morty. And then the only other thing I will mention is we already did Principles. New Sonic the Hedgehog. There we go. Sonic the Hedgehog, this looks like a jumping on point, Spring Broken. Actually looks like a one shot. If you've been looking to get your kid into Sonic the Hedgehog comics, I get that question once every couple months. This is a perfect moment to jump in. It's a one shot. You don't need to worry about anything. Grab that for your kiddos. And then with that being said, look, there's a Street Fighter book, Masters Game Gals, Chun-Li. So if you like Street Fighter, get yourself that comic. And that's we're kind of down to final thoughts. I know Roy's taking care of the kiddos. I'm gonna triple check comments real quick.
I'm
Oh,
really
Scotty
grateful.
Young, Manny with his Scotty Young. Yeah, Scotty Young month is gonna be tough.
Super grateful for everyone that's in the comments and everyone that watches. Normally, I get to play a little more ball with that, but like I said, I can't see any of
Oh,
it
yeah, Roy
because
doesn't
I'm
get to see the comments right now, which is
fighting my own battles today. But the show must go on.
hold on. I wanted Dave's been begging for it. Where is it? There it is. So this cover is what Dave's been like absolutely loving. And I do love this. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that Frank Frazetta Death Dealer stuff from Opus
Sure,
like a year ago or whatever.
I
Like
feel you.
I haven't read this book yet. I flipped through it the week we got it. I know we still have some number ones, but this book looks cool, especially if you like Conan, if you liked Barbaric, if you liked any of that stuff. But Roy,
Frank Frazetta is the goat.
final thoughts.
Wrap it up, man. You know, like my best parenting advice is maybe you shouldn't. You know, just skip it next time. You know,
Just skip it next time.
skip it. Yeah. No, I'm just joking. Of course, that's that gave me purpose beyond any that I ever knew I could have. Let's see. Final thoughts. I don't know. Be good to each other. Have fun. You know, I love that you're always emphasizing to reach out to people because people are quiet, and so you know I think that's always a good thing to keep in mind. People are quiet, so reach out. You know, if you can give anything back in any capacity whatsoever, you know, even if it's just giving a stranger a smile, I think that you should endeavor to do that. One of my biggest goals on this planet, despite any kind of religious beliefs I may or may not have, is that at the end of all of this, I sure would like to look back and see that I am greater than what I was perhaps originally built to be. And so you should try that, you know, instead of being a dick. That's
Dave,
about it.
I found it. You know why I couldn't find this damn May cover? Because
That's cool.
because the art was so tiny, like kind of tiny. I'm like, my eyes went to all the bigger covers, so I found it. There's the A cover that Dave is loving.
It's another reason why I go through the FOC quite a few times before Sunday, Monday, is because I might have missed something in all of you get cover blind, you know.
Bye, Courts. Have a safe flight.
Safe flight, Courtney.
Enjoy your trip. Courts, guys, if you're ever at Blackbird and Courts is taking care of you, she's gonna make you a phenomenal drink. She's gonna super take care of you, and she's like a pro. She's a pro's pro at that. So definitely ask her if you do not know what drink you want. Ask her. And Sam's punch was phenomenal today. But yeah, dude, and boy, like I try to just be positive about it because there are like three things I'm like very passionate about: comic books, video games, certain video games, right? And then USF apparently, because Lauren would not let me live it down if I didn't say that, because she'd say, "What about USF?"
Sure.
I'm so passionate about him. I'm obsessed, right? For better or for worse. As Conor McGregor would said, I'm just obsessed with it. But it's great because when you're obsessed, and my wife, Lauren. But when you're obsessed with something, even when it brings you down, it doesn't bring you as down as other things, right? Like if you don't love your job and you have a bad day at work, you're gonna be down. If you love your job and you have a bad day at work, because bad days are inevitable, it's just gonna be a little better. And it's the same thing. Like I always say, collect what you love, and you're never gonna have a regret. Like collect what you love, buy what you love. When it comes to video games, don't buy a video game because you heard it's the top 5 best video game of the year. Buy it because you're excited about it. You will not be disappointed. When you go to buy, I bought some Lorcana today. Lorcana came out. I bought the deck I wanted rather than buying some packs and being like, I'll gamble, you know, and I had zero regrets with my purchase. So I always tell people, buy what you like, and you won't regret a purchase in your life. That's only vaguely true, but I do like to live by it. The 20 boxes of Funkos in the garage. I have no regrets, no regrets. But with that being said, guys, thank you for joining us for another episode. I do want to give another shout out to Rich Doek, who did Heart Piercer. This is a must read for anybody who's a fan of high fantasy necromancy. If you read Principles in Necromancy, you want Heart Piercer. That's all I'm saying. Hardcore Henry right now with them cameras. Yeah, I do.
I'm sorry. I love Hardcore Henry, though. Fucking shout out for that alone. Here. Hey.
Oh man, but all right, Roy, I'll let you go. We'll let you go take care of the kiddos. We will be back next Friday. I believe my schedule has it just as open, so we'll be back next Friday with our 4th episode in a row. And don't forget, we will be doing a top 10 list of the best comic book events since Crisis on Infinite Earths.
And don't forget to watch Dave and Candace as they go over the covers and stuff in more depth with less screaming babies and sourpuss opinions.
Yeah,
So,
this is true.
between
I bet you Dave will show you that A cover for Akugan. I bet you.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Take it easy, guys. Have a good one. Thank you for everybody who joined us. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Courts. Safe travels, Courts. Thank you, Daryl. You guys all have a great day.